Yo, welcome everyone, Sanjay Uchiha here and welcome back to the channel where, as you can tell by the thumbnail and title, today we'll be having a much needed Kawaki discussion based on the recent events of Boruto Manga chapter 53. I think it's only right that we talk about Kawaki and where his story and evolution of his character is going to go as of chapter 54 and beyond. But of course, if you're new here guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for joining me. Let's start a discussion. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But let's get into it without further ado. So Kawaki Uzumaki, I'm sure it is safe for me to label him as that in terms of title or name. But for the most part, when it comes down to Boruto Manga chapter 53, we saw Kawaki's character get a much needed, well, probably not much needed, but a boost in terms of how his characterization and just his growth and just the payoff for all those chapters when he came to Konoha, essentially for the most part has been. And honestly, it was refreshing to see him stand up to Isshiki Otsutsuki and the role he played in essentially ensuring Isshiki didn't remark him with the karma. But I said in my live reaction, the live reaction stream, which is on the channel, you can definitely check that out to get my initial impressions on the chapter, apart from my review. I was saying in the chapter, in the live reaction stream, that the decision to make Kawaki not be marked with the karma at this point, even though we know in the future he will be marked with some karma, if not Isshiki, who knows, it could even be Momoshiki, which would be interesting, having Boruto and Kawaki share the same karma from the same Otsutsuki specifically. Kishimoto's decision to, let Isshiki die without marking Kawaki was the best choice to me, because it allows us as the audience to be much more invested in seeing what is going to happen with Kawaki, and even the statements and decisions and the flashbacks that form the context and reinforce the decisions and actions that Kawaki performed in chapter 53. It fuels the curiosity and the investment of the audience even more, because right now it almost seems like Kawaki is even being set up to be the main character of Boruto right now, and maybe Boruto being the villain in a sense. Well, Borushiki, you know what I mean. So yeah, so it comes down to, how does Kawaki become what he becomes in the flash forward? Now, I have dissected the flash forward in recent months to possibly say that Kawaki isn't evil per se, and he might be like an anti-hero, essentially just making the tough decisions to get what needs to be done for the greater good, essentially. You can definitely check those videos out. Even my latest Kawaki video before this one speaks a lot on this, right? So it could even be a case where a lot of us have misinterpreted the idea of Kawaki being evil. So there is definitely that. But I mean, where do we go from here, essentially? Because right now, Kawaki, who has stated that without the seventh, this world, like, if the seventh isn't there, if Naruto isn't there, this world isn't worth living in. So right now, I think between Kodachi and now Kishimoto, who's continuing the story, it's hard to say. It's very difficult to say Kawaki becomes evil in the future, right? Look at it this way. It could go either way, right? Still at the same time, as long as it's executed properly. But it's one of two things. Is either Kawaki finds some flaw or hears or learns of some flaw in Naruto's character and potentially how he's handled things in this new era, and probably stands in contrast to what Naruto has been preaching so far, and he reacts highly emotionally to that. But I feel that's the less likely case, and potentially speaking, Kawaki becomes like a genuine anti-hero who's making the tough choices and is trying his best to actually save Naruto's life going into the time skip, and is taking the necessary course of action to not only help out his quote-unquote stepbrother Boruto, but prevent the world from falling into the hands of the Otsutsuki by any means necessary, which might put him in direct conflict, or not necessarily direct conflict, but maybe even say a third party, a third, like, you know, you have team A, team B, team C, and Kawaki would be team C. It might put him in a situation where he's on the team C and is in opposition to how the five great nations and the remainder of, well, which includes the remainder of Konoha at this point, are going about things, including Boruto. So I strongly feel that's going to be the case with Kawaki, because for him to like become evil, honestly, even with chapter 53, I feel even strongly that it wouldn't make sense for Kawaki to be outright like a villain per se. It just would feel wrong. And if he is going to become evil and say react emotionally, like my less likely speculation slash theory at this point, Kishimoto would really have to build up and showcase how he's going to make Kawaki turn to that side in terms of his mentality at the same time, if you get what I mean. So that's the thing. But even with the more immediate future right now, with the immediate events that probably will happen next, more than likely, apart from Sasuke versus Boruto, I'm expecting to get Kawaki versus Boruto, or Momoshiki, for, you know, if I'm being more accurate here, and it will actually fuel, more than likely, the flames of the rivalry that we feel, that we think or feel is going on between Boruto and Kawaki. So yeah, that's more than likely going to be the case. So yeah, but that's pretty much all I wanted to discuss, and just kind of just start a conversation with you guys regarding Kawaki and his potential fate in the immediate, or the near and far-flung future at the same time, because chapter 53 for the most part has reinforced my recent, well, my previous Kawaki theory, apart from him potentially saving Naruto's life, in terms of him being an anti-hero at the end of the day. Because really, honestly, as I said earlier, it kind of feels like Kishi at this point is everything that's built up from Kodachi's writing and Kishimoto's writing right now. It feels like Kawaki is being more built up to be the, if I could like compare him to like a character from, like, say, part 1 or part 2, who would be the best comparison? I don't even know who to compare him to, really. Probably I could say even, alright, probably even part 2 Sasuke, Shippuden Sasuke, before killing Itachi. Because really and truly, Sasuke before the Itachi fight, before the end of the Itachi fight, I wouldn't even classify him as evil. He's just doing his own thing by any means necessary. So I think that's an interesting parallel, or probably one of the best parallels I could go for between Kawaki and how he's going to be positioned in the story in the time skip. So there's that. So yeah, let me know what your expectations are for Kawaki, because honestly, I'm interested to see what Kishimoto is going to do with him. He's honestly easily becoming a fan favorite, I feel, for a lot of persons, especially with his performance in chapter 53 and everything that's been built up from when he just came to Konoha till now. I really feel like I need to reread those chapters, if I'm being if I'm being quite honest. I really need to, because I feel like I need to get reconnected with the development that he's had from coming to Konoha till right now. So yeah, but again, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about his position in the flash forward, in his dynamic, and what he will do with Naruto going forward, if he's going to be like sealing Naruto, and just the dynamic that's going to be building with chapter 54. Because Sasuke versus Boruto aside, as I said, I'm expecting a Kawaki versus Boruto, and for this, either with chapter 54 or 55, for them to really establish what the dynamic is going to be, if it's going to be a genuine rivalry, or it's going to fuel the idea that Kawaki needs to take some drastic actions to save his true newfound family in the Leaf Village, essentially. So yeah, but again, thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, guys, be sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think about my thoughts and my discussion here on Kawaki based on the recent events of chapter 53. and just your expectations for him with chapter 54 and beyond. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great day. Be sure to check out my more recent Boruto discussions on Sasuke and Naruto, who I feel has lost the Nine Tails. Possibly, it's a high possibility. But check those out to hear my thoughts on those. Sanju Uchiha. I'll see you guys in the next Boruto discussion.